Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Today is Wednesday, February 7th, so we're going to be taking a look at what all messages God, Spirit, the Divine has in store for you today. So we will go ahead and start with taking a look at the general reading, where I'll pull 3 cards for the energy of the collective, and then I'll take a look at the sign grouping. So in the description box below, you'll see the timestamps that you can click on and go straight to that section. And as always, as we go through this, take only what resonates. And if you're drawn in by the title and some of these details seem to be meshing with what's going on with you, then there's a message in here for you. But don't try to force details into a scenario that you're not seeing. So there will be some additional videos posting over the next week, so make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell if you want to be alerted as those new videos post. So let's go ahead and jump in. So our 3 cards, we have the 8 of Swords in reverse, we have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Page of Swords. So this is kind of crazy. This 4 of Pentacles in reverse has come up. This is either the 3rd or the 4th time in the last week that this has been coming up in this overall energy read. And so remember, this is about generosity and overspending, or not overspending, but I guess overspending, but it's like this giving, generous energy. But there's a little bit of a sense with this as well of, it's not your traditional generosity of, I contribute to the food pantry, or I donate at church, or, I'm helping clean up a park. It's more of a sense of almost losing yourself in this energy of overgiving to other people. And that can be giving your time, giving your money, giving your energy. So this is something that's out there right now. It seems like that energy is kind of hanging in the collective. Like I said, this is at least the 3rd and maybe even the 4th. So I'll go back and take a look. This card has been coming out. So this is something that's really, really heavily out there, is that sense of like overly giving to the situation, which, I mean, sometimes that can be good, but you also have to be mindful of the fact that if you're completely emptying your bucket, you need something that's filling it. Otherwise, you're going to be in burnout. We also have the 8 of Swords in reverse. And so this is about kind of breaking free from the perceived shackles or limitations that you have. So if you feel like you're stuck in a situation, this is about breaking free from it. A lot of times, if we're in a situation, we may tell ourselves, "Oh, I can't change it. Things will never change." Whatever that inner monologue is that you're having about, "Oh, things never work out for me. Things are always a struggle." If you're taking classes, "Oh, I'm terrible at school," whatever it is. If you keep telling yourself that over and over, you're conditioning your brain to think that way. And so this is really about breaking free from any of those, I'll call it, self-limiting beliefs, and kind of having that clarity of saying, no, I can move on. Like, I can change my situation. I have the ability to change my scenario. So there is some of that. And then we also have our Page of Swords energy. And so, that's coming in for you as well at the collective level. And, this is going to be that energy where you have that planning. You're trying to figure out how you're breaking free. You're trying to figure out how you're breaking free from this, because you want to move on. And it's just a matter of planning it. And how do we do that? So let's go ahead and jump into each of the individual signs, and we're going to see what all messages are coming through. So for today, let's start with our water signs. And we're going to see what's coming through for water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Let's see what all messages we have for you for today. The Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man, that is about kind of putting yourself in that self-reflective state and trying to see things from a different perspective, and looking at your scenario from all different senses. So there is a sense of sacrifice to it, but you're readjusting things. And that's what this Eight of Swords in reverse is about, is breaking free of whatever it was that was keeping you in looping cycles, keeping you in unfulfilling ruts. And so the good thing is with this energy, it's a matter of taking a look at your situation a little bit differently and how can you break free. So that's that kind of planning. So you're seeing things from a different perspective and then you're planning on making your change. All right, let's take a look at Gaia cards and see what is coming out there. Yin and Yang, creating harmony through balance. So as you're seeing things from a different perspective and kind of rebirthing yourself a little bit and getting a fresh slant on the scenario, the whole goal with that is always to create more harmony and balance. That's the natural state that your soul is trying to push you towards, is a state of peace and balance and harmony. You're not here on this planet, your jumper card, you're not here on this planet to experience a lifetime of angst and problems. It's how do you convert that into peace and harmony? Okay, so I'll do both of these. The first one, the jumper card, was Sedna, infinite supply. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. So this is having that faith and trust that there is abundance for you and not living in fear of, I have to do this because otherwise I'm not going to have enough money to live. I have to do this because I can't afford to put a roof over my head otherwise. So that's having that sense of, no, the universe can provide infinite resources and abundance. You just have to have the faith and be aligned in that vibration. And then the pulled card was Lakshmi, bright future. Stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. And so that really goes with this idea of trying to break free of whatever the scenario is that is keeping you feeling imprisoned and keeping you feeling kind of burned out. The situation that you've been giving your energy towards, stop worrying about it. Things will be fine. All right, and then we'll take a look at the Romance Oracle card. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So for water signs, this is something, take a look at it and see, are you in a balanced and happy state in your relationship where you are, or is it leaving you feeling like you have to keep giving and giving and giving, and then you feel kind of trapped, like, wait a second, I'm doing all this giving, why are things not getting better? So that is the message that was coming through for water signs. And now we will move on to our air signs and see what wants to come through for you for today. Judgment. All right, so this, whatever situation has been brewing for you, the Judgment card is about having that favorable judgment from the divine. And there is a sense of like newness and rebirth. So remember, Judgment, this is card number 20 of the major arcana. So it's almost at the end of a cycle. Like you've been doing something, and now this is like the final exam. And the universe is looking at it and saying, okay, did you learn the lesson you were supposed to be learning? And have you integrated that? So it's not just a matter of identifying what was the lesson that I was supposed to learn. It's being able to integrate those teachings or that wisdom into what it is that you're doing. So if some of it is a matter of the Four of Pentacles in reverse, the whole idea of like overgiving. And if you're doing that because you're putting too much, call it maybe energy into a relationship because you're so afraid the person's going to leave if you don't do this and this and this and this, that's an abandonment wound that you have. So it's not enough to just acknowledge that, hey, this is what I do. I mean, that's part of it, but it's also about, okay, rather than continuing to pour all of this out to somebody else, how are you doing in terms of pouring that into you? And so that's part of it with the judgment card is, identifying what the lessons are that you're supposed to be learning, but also incorporating that into your beliefs, into your daily processes as well. All right, let's take a look at the Gaia card and see what is in store here. Winter's End. Regeneration, rebirth, positive outcome. And so that goes along with, the judgment card is kind of like, okay, so coming up on the end of a cycle, and there is an element of like rebirth or like renewal and awakening that's happening there. So both of those cards go nicely together. And a lot of that is about moving yourself out of, when we look at the reds that we have here, because there's red in the edge of the tree around her. And so when we look at all of that, it's some of this, the lesson being learned is around not allowing your mind to imprison you in a situation and saying, okay, I can overcome this. I don't have to do something or be someone because somebody else wants me to. So then there's the planning of, well, what does that look like? What does that look like to put me first in a healthy way? Oh, that was a little set that flipped. So I'm not saying being selfish and hurting other people, but having that sense of, no, my needs are important. My growth is important. So, all right. And that one flipped out here. Let's see what this one was. Aracura, blossoming. You are just getting started. So have patience with yourself and the process, and do not give up. So that was the flip card. And then I will pull one as well. White Tara, sensitivity. You are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. So this is kind of that idea of, finding that balance in relationships. And if you're one of those people where it is that give, and you're not really getting anything in return, this is about finding that balance, because that's sort of a relationship. When it says a harsh relationship, that is a pretty harsh one. If the expectation is that you're doing, 98% of the work, that's a pretty harsh scenario. So find that balance of what makes you happy. All right. And then on the romance card, reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. So keeping an eye out for that. Sometimes in terms of life paths, there's a certain amount of healing or lessons that need to be learned before you move on to the next situation. So so that is what is in store for not Gemini specifically, air sign. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So now we are moving on to our fire signs, and that's going to be our Aries, Leo, Sag. Let's see what's coming through. The Tower. And this came out over the weekend for the fire signs as well. So there's whatever situation you're in where you've been putting lots and lots of time, energy, money into that situation, and you felt trapped. But now you're seeing that, so the Tower is bringing that in. The Tower is bringing in that clarity of, wait a second, I have this sense of freedom. Like, I don't have to be trapped. I can move forward. I can move on. And then kind of planning for what does that look like? So sometimes with the Tower, it's this sudden, unexpected change. The way that this reads, especially on the heels of the reading over the weekend, you know what it is. It's something you've been avoiding, a situation that you know needs to change, and you've been avoiding it because you have, at the soul space level, you've started moving on. You're getting that perspective. You're kind of taking control of the situation, and you're planning. You're planning for the future, but the Tower has has to fall before you can actually have the future that you're planning for. So that's a matter of let it happen in its due course, and don't fight it when it does, even if it feels scary. So Moonlight Goddess, repressed emotions, healing, and reflection. So even if you've seen that this tower is coming, there's usually healing that needs to happen, some reflection that needs to happen. So be mindful of that. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's interesting, as I'm looking at these cards, the blues are really popping out for me. The blue in here, like the tower is related to overgiving. And remember, that can be time, money, energy, attention. All right. Your goddess card is Hathor, receptivity. And with any of these, if I butcher the names, I'm sorry. I'm just guessing with some of them. Allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. So if you've been in this energy of I'm the giver, I'm the one that has to take care of everything, I'm the one that's keeping everything together, this is that reminder to you that it's okay to let somebody else help you, to take care of you, to show you that time and attention and support that you showed other people. All right, let's take a look at our romance oracle card. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. And that can be part of this planning as well. That if there's, planning for financial stability, but if you're in a situation where you are staying in a relationship and if the relationship is what's on its way out, and that's the tower, this is that reminder of, you've been giving and giving and you've been putting all this energy into it because there's some concerns with finances. If you're considering a divorce, for example, usually that's expensive and you have a sense of loss of if you're going to have to pay the other person alimony, child support, whatever that looks like. So there's concerns there, but know that you're protected and continue with your planning, and that will help you feel more comfortable with the situation and make you fight that tower a little bit less. All right, on to our earth signs. So that is our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's see what message is coming through for you. The Empress. So this is that kind of divine feminine, inner wisdom, abundance, that creative type of energy that's coming in. And so allow yourself to tap into that creative feminine energy. And maybe that's part of your plan. Like if you're breaking free from situations where you're just giving and it's draining, sometimes it's that you need a change. You need a change where you're more creative and it's less, I'll call it, transactional behaviors every day, that I get up and I do this. I get up and I pay this bill. I get up and I'm contributing to somebody else. And allow yourself to be creative for the sake of being creative. All right, let's take a look at our Gaia card. Remembrance. Resurfacing of past feelings and emotions. When you're going through some of this and you're looking at, breaking free, there can be an element of sadness for whatever you're breaking free from, even if it wasn't the best situation for you, even if it didn't make you super happy. There was something about it that was keeping you there. And maybe it can be helpful to kind of tap into some of that creative feminine energy. Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's art, maybe it's song, maybe it's dance, something to help kind of channel some of that energy. If your memories are making you sad, or even if they're making you happy, you can channel that into creative expression. But if it's a heavier energy, sometimes it helps to have a creative outlet for that. Athena, inner wisdom. You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. And that really goes with both of these. So you have your freedom and kind of taking control of the situation and planning. And listen to your inner wisdom, and you'll be able to hear what the right next steps are for you if you can get your, I'll call it the ego mind, to quiet itself a little bit. Okay. And Romance Oracle card. Let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. And that, and this can go with any of these really, but the idea of if you're trying so hard to hold on to something, that can be keeping it from doing what it's supposed to be doing. And a lot of times this energy, this overgiving, not spending money, but like just overgiving, and I just keep pouring more and more energy, and that's a control issue. So this is almost like I'll call it the positive side of control. So it's not like necessarily that you're yelling at somebody, you need to do this. It's more of, I'm trying to control it by overwhelming, like love bombing type of scenario. But that is a control technique as well. So this is the part that needs to change for your own benefit as well as the benefit of the situation. So I hope today's message has been helpful for you. And as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest. And I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.